Hey, welcome everyone to the Wednesday Night EC Riders Call. I am so excited. We have a very fantastic guest tonight. I'm not gonna steal Richard's thunder. I know he's got a fantastic introduction waiting for her, but so excited for the call tonight, and we're gonna go ahead here and get started. Again, thank you so much for joining us on this Wednesday night. I know everybody's time is valuable, and it's summer, and I know the kids are busy, and we're all busy, but just thank you for joining us and taking an hour to spend with us here. I'm going to go ahead and introduce our host. If you're not familiar with this gentleman, he's been in the business about 6 years. He's an executive consultant in Ambit Energy. He is a 5-star trip earner. He has several businesses of his own. He owns several Dickey's barbecue restaurants. He has a music box business, and he is one of the most creative people I've ever met. He's brought us the 3x4 and the Purge call on Sunday evenings, and if you're not on those, you need to get with your upline and make sure you get on those calls. And he is my very dear friend and my mentor, Mr. Richard Laidler. Richard, are you there?
I am here. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you okay.
Fantastic. Well, great to see we've got a lot of people on the call. Nice to see. I imagine that the post that we had on Facebook attracted a lot of folks from around the country, so there's a little bit of a clue as to who we've got coming on the call tonight. But just really quickly, I just want to make sure I welcome everybody on the call. Obviously, we have a bunch of new people who are coming on the call and a bunch of people who have been around for a long time. Welcome to both. The purpose of this call is to try and be as functional as we can. We love to get people on the call that obviously will tell their story, and we hear their why, and we hear their success and this type of thing. But I also like to try and get some real practical training in as well, some pointers as to people who've been there before and maybe made some mistakes and how they fixed those mistakes, or whether they've done something right and how it's really grown their business and how that can really be successful. So we love that. We like a call that's really kind of on point as far as that's concerned. But more importantly than that, you need to just, with your right arm, reach over your left shoulder, give yourself a pat on the back for taking out the time to get onto these calls. There are many different calls around the country, and pretty much most of them are all fantastic calls. This is a business based on belief. When you first get started in the business, it's all about, God, I hope this is going to work. I hope this is going to work. And you enter then into a stage of some belief. You get your first check, and you meet some other people that have had some success, and you go through belief for a little while, and then you get to a situation where that check is coming in, getting 5 checks a month from, your weekly checks from your Jumpstart bonuses, and then your commission check on the 15th of every month, which is a holiday for everybody in Ambit. And, you start to get to a situation where you move initially from hope into belief, and then you get to a situation where this thing works. And that's the ideal place to be, because when you have that certainty. And when you have that certainty, it helps with your posture in the business. But the whole point is at the very beginning, when you're in the hope stage and in that belief stage, you need to get on these calls, and you need to make sure your teams get on these calls, because they're so great for helping you through those early stages. So, that's what this call is all about. We have a call every Wednesday night, and every 3 calls out of the month, we'll have a special guest, and tonight is no different. We have a very, very special guest, because not only is she a national consultant in the business, she's also a close personal friend of mine. I've grown to know her and love her. I would never have met her if it hadn't been for this business, and I'm very excited to have her on the call. And it's kind of interesting how we got to meet, because I was invited to go and train up in the Northeast to 400 Hispanic people, and it's pretty hilarious, because my Spanish is un poquito, like very, very little, and so it was kind of an interesting idea to go up there and do what I do, and they called me Gringo 007, which was kind of very funny and it was very kind of like I felt very welcome up there. But I would get up on the stage and I would do my little bit of training. I'd talk for 5 seconds, and then David Belmar, executive consultant David Belmar, who most of you know down here in the Dallas area, he'd then translate for me, and then I would then speak, and then he'd translate for me, and I would speak, and then he would translate, and then everybody would bust out laughing. So I knew that what he was talking about wasn't necessarily what I said, and I knew it was probably a joke at my expense. But I went up there, and it was very much for our guests team, and that's who we've got on the call tonight. And so I'm very excited to talk to her. She's part of a dynamic duo. Again, both national consultants in the business. They've both been, obviously, been 5-star trip earners multiple times. I don't even know how. I think it's 4 or 5 times. In fact, she'll probably talk about it when we get on the call. But to get on the 5-star trips, you've got to be moving and shaking. And these guys are definitely doing up there in the Northeast. What's also really good is she's from an Hispanic background, but also a very strong team up in the Northeast. And that's very good for us down here in Dallas to kind of learn what's going on up there in the Northeast. So I'm very excited to get her on the call. So, again, national consultant, multiple 5-star trip winner. I think knocking on the door of a Yellow Jacket. I'm not sure. Perhaps she'll enlighten us as far as that's concerned. And just an all-round great person, a massive, massive team. And best of all, one of my best friends, national consultant Sonia Baffoni. Are you there, Sonia?
Yes, Richard, I'm here. Thank you very much for inviting me for this call. I am very, very pleased, and you are such a wonderful person, and there's something you said that is so true. This business, it's very good. The money is wonderful, but the friendships that you start making is unbelievable. And it's true, I never met Richard. And if it wasn't because of this business, I would have never met David Velmar or many other people that I am now friends with. So thanks again for inviting me, Richard.
Who would have thought that a Colombian girl would meet an Englishman? I mean, only in Ambit Energy, right? So
only in Ambit Energy, that's right.
Only in Ambit Energy. So let's kick off the call, and I think obviously a lot of people on the call will know who you are and who Cesar is, your husband. But could you kind of just give us a little bit about who you are, a little bit about you and Cesar, and obviously the family. I think I've met. I can't remember if I've met 1 or 2 of your daughters. I can't remember.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. But just tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, I'll tell you a little bit about me. Just a little bit brief of me and Cesar personally. I came here when I was young, but I go back and forth. And on one of my trips, I went to visit and I met Cesar and we married. We married actually very quickly. We didn't have a long engagement. It was like 3 months and we got married. And a lot of people say it was never going to last. It's going to be 25 years.
Fantastic.
Okay, that's a little bit about our personal. Now, regarding the business, as many of you know, I think I have said it, I was those type of person that I did not want to get in it because I never thought, I always thought that people who did multi-level marketing were people who could not find a job or, didn't have anything to do. So that wasn't me. I used to work in the banking area in Wall Street. So I said, that's not me. I don't want to do that. And I always thought of this business as, something for lazy people. Look how ignorant I was in that subject. But Cesar said, that's energy, Why not, And he mostly did it because, a friend insisted that he came into the business. And, he signed as a consultant. And I remember clearly telling Cesar, please don't put my name in there. I do not want to be involved. Can you believe it? Well, right. Cesar is a very persistent person. He set goals and everything, and he says, I'm going to do this no matter what. Because like you said, at the beginning let me see if I can do it. Mm-hmm. But once those checks come in every single week and they get bigger, you said, oh, my God, this works. And, it's not that I want the money, but when I saw that things really changed and the checks came in weekly, and I saw a lot of changes. Of course I changed, They say money talks, and I don't want to be those type of. But then what I meant to say is that I knew that I can talk to people because it wasn't a lie, that if you do your work and if you do it constantly, you are going to succeed. And of course there's ups and downs like in everything you do. But if you're consistent and persistent, and it's true, you'll make it. You'll make it. Like in anything you do, you really have to be persistent. Some people work this business as a not even as a part-time, as a sometime, and they expect to have a check every single week, and it doesn't work like that. You really have to put time into this, and once you do it, and Ambit gets into your blood, let me tell you something. It really makes a whole difference in your life.
No question. And in fact, Sonia, why don't you just, because I obviously know your story. We've had, dinners where, we've talked about, how you got into the business and how things went for you. I know, obviously you guys are a national consultant now, which is huge, and obviously it was totally easy and perfect for you right from day one. Nothing ever went wrong. And you went through, regional consultant real quick, senior consultant real quick. You fast-tracked to EC, and boom, NC was a breeze, right? Is that how it went?
No. At the beginning, we're going to be in this business more than 8 years ago. And Let me tell you something. At the beginning, we made all the mistakes you can think that we really made. This is when I tell you something. When you want to do something, you do it. Why? Because, we talked to, especially my husband. We never did a network marketing before. It was our first time. So you can imagine how many mistakes we were telling everybody the wrong things and talking more than what we really need to talk, saying things that didn't have to be said. And the good part about this is that the person who introduced us to the person who showed us the business later on told Cesar, don't do it. It doesn't work. Our RC, we never met. We met him later on. Our senior consultant, when we became seniors, gave us a call and said, wow, you guys are doing a wonderful job. Our EC was writing a book. And a national consultant we still haven't met. So this means that whoever really wants to work this business, it can. And I have to say something. There is many great people in Ambit Energy because people who didn't have nothing to do with us, who never make a penny with us, were the ones who helped us. We learned so much from Ray Monty, and Ray Monty has nothing to do with us. So, yes, we made mistakes, of course, and there were times that the people that we really thought were going to, this one is going to make it, this one is going to really go on. Nothing happened with that, and the ones that we didn't give credit, those are the ones that has helped us. Like they say, you really can't prejudge. You can't say, this is one is good, this one is not, because you never know. You really, really never know who's the one that's going to make it. And, somebody told me something that I never forget. I remember that I was saying that I wish I could somebody come into the business and really explode. And that person told me something that I have never forgotten up to today. She says, Sonia, the person that you're waiting for is you. You're the one that has to do it. You're the one that has to make it. You're the one that has to go every week to the meetings. You're the one that has to go to the trainings. You're the one that has to set the example. And once you do it, those are the type of people you're going to attract. But don't expect people to do something if you're not going to do it. And it's true. It really is. So, of course things have happened to us. It hasn't been an easy ride. As a matter of fact, remember when we started, I didn't even believe in this, and I remember people used to make fun of Cesar. You think you're gonna make it? You think that's gonna make it? You think you're not even American and you're gonna do this? And that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't, because everybody uses light and electricity and gas. And thankfully, the people that used to make fun of him are still working, and we're not.
Right.
It took us a while, but the first thing that Cesar did was replace my salary, and he did. And he did. But like I said, in order for you to be successful, you really need to do the little, those little things that you don't think are important are very important. Going to your meetings is very important. Of course, you need to take a guest. But let's say you don't have a guest. So what? You go.
Mm-hmm.
You're there to help. You're there to support. You're there, because if you stop going, then you start dying. You can't. You got to get into the calls. You got to go to the trainings. You got to do all those small steps, because the day that you're going to take a guest, you want the place to be full.
Right.
And not only that, I used to go with Cesar. Yes, he replaced my salary, but I wasn't still in Ambit. And I remember one day I said, I'm going to go to this meeting because there's going to be a guest that I heard there's a couple that's very successful. So I'm taking a couple so they can, they can jump into the business. And I remember they told me the Masons were coming to Connecticut. So I took this couple to Connecticut. And let me tell you that when I was there, I want them to do magic for my couple. Well, you know what happened? The magic was done to me. When I heard King Mason speaking, when I heard them, I said, oh, my God, I can do this. So it was a blessing, because you never know. There's going to be one person that says something that's going to click on you. And no matter how many times you have heard a presentation, it's very important to always go, because that person may change the way you think and may say, oh, my God, I can do this like it happened to me. I wanted the couple to click, and that's the day that I decided I was going to do this.
Isn't that amazing? And you that's such true. That is so true, because I mean, I know you and Cesar are obviously lovely people, but I mean, is there anything, do you have an extra arm and an extra leg, or is there something extra special about you that made you get to SC, or are you to NC, or are you just the same as everybody else? I mean, you just did what you needed to do, and it was a process of time.
We always do goals, we always put it on paper. I don't know, for us, we're still like, every weekend we sit on the table and we said, okay, this is what we need to do, and this is, we just make a plan on paper. I feel that when I put it on paper, it's more seriously, see?
Right.
And I remember that Cesar said, okay, we're going to become national consultants by this and this date. And we sit with people, sometimes it doesn't, we just make sure, like, okay, who's working? We mostly dedicate our times. Not everybody that goes into the business work, and this is true. Sometimes consultants come in and then they don't answer the phone anymore. So it's true. It happened to us. Maybe it hasn't happened to you guys, but it has happened to us. But there's other.
It happens to everyone.
But there's some consultants that really want to make it. Right. And one thing that I learned is, for many people, many consultants, is you really need to sit with that new consultant and find out what exactly that consultant wants. Does he want to leave his job? Whatever they want. And you're going to tell them. Me or Cesar always tell the new consultant, okay, how bad do you want it? And we ask them, do you mind if we call you a lot? We try to get as much info from that person as we can. Mm-hmm. And once we do that, we tell them, okay, how many people do you have? And we sit with them, we train them. And that's how we did it. We were not, we needed 2 more executives in order to become nationals. And we saw one of them was walking and the other one was like, like yes and no. We sat with them. We gave them numbers. We did the 533, a system that Cesar did. This is how much money you can make in a week. Do you really want it? Do you not want it? What is it that's stopping you? So we concentrate a lot and we sit with them. We train them. We help them to the ones that really want to do it, because you cannot spend time with people that don't answer your phone. You cannot you cannot want something for them that they don't even want for themselves. Mm-hmm. So what we try to do, and up to now, is that we're almost there for our yellow jacket. So we're trying to see, okay, who's working, who's not, and we make plans. We put it on paper. We sit with the people, and that's exactly what Cesar has been doing this week. Like, we call people and we talk to them. You know, do you want to do this? Do you want to keep on doing it? Do you not want to do it? And we tell them, okay, what's your plan? Who's working? Do you want us to help you? You know, you use us a three-way call. Do you want us to sit with your future consultants? What is it that you want? So we try to find out what is it. And we don't talk to Spanish people because we work a lot with Spanish market. We never talk to people, okay, you know, you're going to make $30,000, $40,000, because some Spanish people don't even make that in a year. It's so true.
Right.
So we tell them, do you want to make $500 a week? And they are more like, oh, a week? Oh, yeah, that's more realistic. Mm-hmm. So once we teach them, we tell them, you have to make your $500 weekly, not just 1 week. So that's what we do. We try to, you know, introduce them with, you know, of course, if they're senior, we go a little bigger. If they're executives, we go a little bigger. But it all depends who are we sitting with. And we tell them, what do you really want? Do you really want it? So we tell them, how much does it take you in your job? How many hours do you dedicate in your job to receive what you're looking for? And then we sit with them. We make a plan with them. But we always tell them, we're going to sit with you, but, you know, we do our part, but you have to do your part. And we tell them, and they ask us, what is our part? Go into the meetings and at least take one guess. Because you can always go to the meetings, but if you never take a guess, it's going to be hard for you. So we tell them, take a guess.
Yep.
Go into the course. That's one of our conditions. You must get into the course, and you must go to the trainings. And if you're committed to those three things, then we're committed with you. If you're not committed, and we register to Ambition. If you're not committed, if you think you can't go to the meetings, if you think you're not going to go into the course, then you're not as committed as we think, and we go next. And it's not that we mean, it's that we want to help people that want to help themselves.
Of course.
That's what
it's interesting.
So
it's interesting. It's interesting hearing what you talk about because, as you know, I work very closely with my team down here, and it's very interesting to hear what you're doing and encouraging to me as an EC looking to get to NC. You sit down, you manage their expectations. What do you want from this business, you know? And you make the expectations in something that they can understand, you know, $500 a week, not $30,000 a month.
Yes.
And that's awesome. And then you add in, we plan our week. As you know, we have the Purge call down here, which is all about just planning your week. It's, you know, it's not excessive amount of time. It's a certain amount of time, but it's allocated time in your calendar. And then you talked about setting the goals. So you've got expectations, you've got some structure, so they're turning up, and you've got their goals. And then you're representing almost like a boss for a while. You know, some of these people need to be encouraged because they've not run a business themselves before like you guys. So that's awesome. That's really, really, really good stuff, Sonia.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that's what we're doing. And now, you know, like me and Cesar said, okay, we're going to go for the yellow jacket, you know, okay, what do we need? So then that's what we do. Exactly. So what I do is like, you know, I put it on the computer. I talk to people. I make the appointments. Some of them Cesar will go. Some of them I'll go. And we'll just sit with the person and tell them. But like I said before, we don't talk to them a lot of money. We said, okay, this is how much you want to make. But we always tell them it is important that we do our part, but you also have to do your part. It's a commitment between me and you. And some people, let me tell you, some people tell us, no, I don't want it. I can't go in. And I don't want to commit in telling you that I'm going to go into the meetings. I can, or I'm not going to go to Ambition. And then we tell them, okay, so then, you know, you're that type of consultant. I respect it. And then whenever you can, just go. And we know we don't count on him as seriously as we thought. And some people tell us no, but believe me, a lot of people tell us yes. A lot of people tell us, train me, help me, and I'll do my part. And we'll tell them, just try it for 6 months and see what happens. And, you know, we have teach people to make money each week, and that's really the main thing, because they like it. And once we do it, we help them make that money. And then we tell them, okay, let's go a little better. Let's go a little higher. And what do? You know, they get better at it. So then they can start walking by themselves, and we tell them, you know, when we told you what to do, now you got to sit with the marketing consultant that came in, and you do exactly the same thing. Tell them you want to make 300, you want to, you know, and they do it. Not everybody does it, but that's what we're trying to teach people to duplicate. Not for us to do all the work, but we help. We teach all our seniors, and we teach all. You know, it all depends, because Cesar sits with them. With the regionals, he sits like once a month, but with the seniors, he sits more. And with the executive, we have more meetings, only us, breakfast or lunch, and we tell them what's the plan. It's all really planning, you know.
Absolutely. It's incredible to watch, you know, what's going on up there. And in fact, I think the last time I came up to do some training up there, I think it was actually at that event that you promoted to national. And,
yes.
It was incredible. But what was, you know, from an outsider's perspective, and I know you welcomed me like one of your own, but I was coming from down here up to there, was how many of your team truly were rooting for you. But not only that, but they were all on the phones, making sure they were getting customers and promoting this person, promoting this person. It almost like it was their own promotion. It was unbelievable to watch how much your team love you guys.
Thank you. You know, well, we you know, like, sometimes you start building like a really good relationship, you know, and like we try to celebrate, like every time an executive, we celebrate it for them. We make a huge celebration when you become an executive. We celebrate when they become seniors. You know, we just do something for them. So, you know, every time an executive, you know, we're lines, so we like music, you know, so we get a little show and we, you know, take them out and, you know. So when we became that, I thought, Cesar, it's not going to happen. You know, it's today, it's not going to happen. And the girl that became an executive, she wasn't there. She came late because she was trying to become an EC, and she did it. And then she says, I need accounts, and I was amazed myself how many everybody was helping her for the accounts. And it happened. Everybody was helping each other. So it was
and that's the thing. I think part of the thing that you really, really have in your team that is extraordinary, that I try to copy you with, is how you build such great camaraderie, and you build such glue in your team. And I don't know if that's a Hispanic thing specifically, but I mean, I had a training tonight, and there were 5 of us there, and we're constantly having these just little trainings, little pockets of trainings, and we invite other people there. And not only are you learning something at these little trainings, there's an intimacy that is built. There's a team that is built. As you say, you celebrate the executive's success and the senior success. They don't get that celebration at work in their job. No one celebrates their success like we do. So when you see what you guys do, and it was fantastic to come to a training. I mean, you have a live band there playing, you have dancing, you have flowers for a lot of the girls, and you have presentations it's incredible to watch how you create such glue in your teams. It's wonderful to watch. And I know that's important to you guys.
Yeah, for us it's important because I always think that, you know, especially, I don't know, you know, especially Spanish people, they say, oh, my God, not even when I get promoted and what I do, I get such a celebration. But me and Cesar always talk, and we said, okay, if he became one of our executives, how many money did he bring us? A lot. He brought us a lot of money. So we got to do something for them, you know, like thank them. And that's the way we do it. Like, you know, we try to, you know, do a celebration for them, in a way thanking that person for everything he has done, and they truly appreciate it. They do. Like, I was in Colombia just now, and while I was there, another EC we just made another EC, and I told her, I owe it to you, you know, and she was so grateful, and Cesar did something for them. But that's what we do. We try to make that person feel, you know, good, welcome, that it can always count with them. And it doesn't matter what, if they're executive, it doesn't matter if they don't, you know, if that person is going to start building their own executive and it doesn't count for us. No, it doesn't matter, because you know how many people they left? they left a lot of people for us. So we keep on working with them, and we just try to have, what we do is try to get in contact with them, not only on the phone, see? And we're not that, Spanish people are not that, I don't know if it's advanced one, but I see that a lot of America does all in the internet. No, we try to person, face to face. Mm-hmm. We try to see them as much as we can. Because we feel there's more connection when you have a person right next to you than in order to only go to the web or in the phone. We try to connect with them in person, laugh with them, meet them, whatever. And we feel a greater connection, and it's better for our business. That's the way we feel, that it's better when it's, the business. And it's true, when I said, the friends that used to be my friends are not hardly my friends anymore. My friends are my Ambit friends, because those are the people that it's so true. Your friends are going to be the people that you still haven't met. It's so true. And
let me ask you, Sonia, real quick. I want to ask you this, because you talk about celebrating your team, and you're national, and you obviously when you were executive and national. We've got a lot of people on the call who are maybe MCs or RCs. How can they emulate what you're doing? How can they create, because, you're talking about hundreds and thousands of people. These people will have 4 people or 5 people. How can they emulate what you're doing? Is it any different for them, how they celebrate people's success?
Well, let's say a marketing consultant comes in, right? Well, okay, a marketing consultant comes in, and of course, the one that's gonna, if a marketing consultant comes in, he's waiting for when he becomes a regional, somebody congratulates him. But let's say nobody does. Let's say nobody does it. Okay, then you're gonna be that person that's gonna do it for your team. You're gonna be that. You're gonna set the example. You're gonna be the first one to do it. You become a regional, and then when when one of the ones that you came in your marketing becomes a regional, go have a drink with him. Celebrate.
Right.
You always have to celebrate. And the bigger, the more celebration, because you're going to feel good, and you're going to make that person feel so good that person is going to want to do business with you. Sometimes people want to be with people that are happy, that are celebrating. I'm not saying that not smart people. Of course, sometimes people hire people because the way they make them feel, or because they're funny, or because not always because they have the best grades. It's the same thing. That person that came in, when that person, becomes your marketing, you become a regional, nobody celebrated, then you set the example. Somebody in your marketing becomes a regional, go celebrate with that person. Go do it. Set the example, and you'll see. You'll start. You start connecting with that person. You're going to feel much better. And if you're regional, celebrate. When somebody becomes a regional, and when you're a senior, every time you have a regional, go to lunch with that person. Go. Do it, and that person is going to make you. That person is going to feel so good. And then when you're a senior and you have your first senior, make it a good celebration, and let the others know, the ones that are working to become a senior, that's how you celebrate it. Let them know. Take pictures. Do something. And people like that. And then if you become, you get bigger, don't forget your trainings. You have to go to the trainings. And if, let's say you go to Richard's trainings, yes, you go, you have to go. And there's, the more you go, the better. Because remember what I told you, there's going to be one person that's going to say something that's going to click whatever you say.
Right. And you never know which meeting it's going to be at.
Never. I'm telling you.
I have the same thing. Exactly the same. But like I've heard Mary and Wado close a meeting over and over and over and over and over again. But just before she went to Japan, she had this meeting, and she just mentioned this one thing, and it fell on me like a ton of bricks. And I'm like, I have heard that 7 years. I've heard that over and over again. But today, it lands on me differently.
So true.
And it made a big difference, a huge difference. You're so right. You're so right. And it's so hard for new people to understand how important it is to be at those meetings for that bond, for that one phrase. And you just, guys, those of you who are listening on the call, listen to what Sonia is saying. Just have faith in what we're saying to you. You don't know it yet. Just have faith. We're regular, ordinary folks, just like you. We've just been doing it longer than you guys. Just have faith that just keep going to the business presentations, keep going to the trainings, keep having the little intimate meetings, celebrate people's success, and you'll form such a bond with the other folks in your team that you'll create a glue where no one's quitting, no one's leaving your business, and everyone's sharing success together. And that's what I see in your team up there. It's so, whenever I go up there, it's so warm and so friendly, and people know who I am because, you've done such a great job of promoting what's going on. You guys up in the Northeast do such a fantastic job about that.
Thank you so much, Richard. And you're always welcome.
Fantastic.
Hopefully we're going to bring you soon again.
Hey, listen, I'm just waiting for the invite. I'm waiting for the invite. So listen, Sonia, before I let you go, because we're at that point where we're just getting to the end of the call, we've got a couple of things I wanted just to quickly ask your opinion on. First of all is your thoughts on Japan. Obviously there's a lot of stuff going on there, and a lot of people are feeling a fear of loss because they're not there or they don't know people in Japan. And I'd love to know your opinion on that. And then once we've talked about that, if you could just mention the importance of getting to ambition. We've talked about how important the meetings are, but just briefly, because I don't want to keep you up any longer because it's very late up there. So I'd just like your thoughts on those two things, please.
Okay, on Japan. Okay, this is what I think. I think for Cesar and me, I'm talking about us. I said, okay, I don't think, for us, we didn't think it was like going crazy to go to Japan. No, it's the same thing. If you can't do it here, you have to, it's easier here. We don't have anybody there yet. Like, we have consultants that are putting consultants, but when we have a team there, then we're going to go there. But we don't want to get crazy, I heard it's very expensive. I heard it's not that easy. And we are building a team here. And you're not going to lose, it's going to be the right time when you go there. But just going there with nobody is a huge mistake. Mm-hmm. I think that that's my opinion, of course. I think that there's always a time for anything, for everything. If you don't have a team there, or if you don't have a place to stay, if you don't, if you don't have something there, I don't think it's the right time. You start building it here. That's what we're doing. A lot of our consultants, especially Peruvians are married to Japanese, a lot of them. And we're starting to already build, okay? And we said, okay, once we have a decent team and somebody that's working, because we do Skype, once we have something there, then we'll go there. But there's so much to be done here, so much. So we don't want to go, and when we go, we're not going to go both. He's going to go or I'm going to go because we don't want to leave our people here. Right. We still want to take care of our people here. So either he's going to go or I'm going to go, but we're going to go in the right time. So if you do have a team there, if you have a good team or somebody that's really starting to work this, then you should go. If not, it's going to be the time. It's going to happen. But it has to be the right time, because I heard it's not easy, and I heard it is very, very expensive.
Yeah. So build here first, right? Build here first, and it will then branch to Japan. So don't worry, guys.
Remember that you're going to have people that know people there. So it's going to happen, And you're going to go when it's the right time to happen. But you're not missing up. You're not missing anything here. Just keep on building your team, and when it's when you have a good team, then you go. Right. And regarding ambition, of course. I mean, from the minute Cesar became a consultant that year, I didn't go that year, but that year he went to Ambition, and he said to me, I realized, I didn't realize in what business I was in until I went to Ambition. That's when he really fell in love. That's when he really understood what exactly was he was doing. And, once I started going to Ambition, I never stopped. And statistically, they said that people who are very successful are the people who attend Ambition.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever you spend there, let me tell you, you get it all back with the meals, with the people that you're going to have, with the trainings, with the invites they have, the guests they have. You're going to have the opportunity to know people, that are on your team in other states. That's one.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to meet people that are going to help you. Let's just say not everybody knows me there on the phone call. Maybe a lot of you guys don't know who I am. Maybe you'll meet me there, and maybe you say, Sonia, I have a Spanish person. I can help you.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be much better if you know me, and I know you. And definitely, that's how you start saying, you're here, you're there. And I have helped many people by going to Ambition, and they tell me, can you help me? And they help me, and I have helped them. And Ambition, they're not only that, but the people who go to Ambition are the people most fortunate when it comes to bonuses, because sometimes the company says, they give double, triple, quadruple, and they will say only for attendees. So
right.
You have, it's more money for you. You're going to have a lot of trainings. You're going to have the opportunity to meet the co-founders. You're going to know what type of business is this. And it's better to be, when you see a game, it's better to be in the stadium than to watch it on TV, because the excitement is humongous. So I encourage everybody to go.
Absolutely. And Sonia, as well as I do, there's nothing like, as I said at the very beginning of the call, it's kind of gone full circle, that when you first start, you hope this is going to be a good business, but you get into belief at a quite early stage. But when you are in American Airlines Center surrounded by 12,000 people,
yes,
of MCs, RCs, SCs, ECs, and NCs, and you see people walking across the stage, and you see, I remember that one year where there was that blind lady who was an SC in the business, and we have a whole team of people who are deaf. We have people who have had such hardship, and and that belief is
and
cemented.
The stories
at
you
Ambition.
hear is amazing.
Oh,
Stories, how much the life have changed for certain people is just amazing. So you really need to be an Ambition. You really need to get your team there. And then if you just started, trust me, you're going to love it. You're going to go there, and then what is going to be your goal next year? This time probably you go along or with somebody next year. You yourself make commitment. You say, okay, next time I'll go with 20, with 50. You make goals. You're the one that set the number. And you work on it, and it's going to be very successful for your business.
Fantastic. Well, Sonia, it's got to be past your bedtime. I mean, it's 10:43 there. I so appreciate you staying up. I know. I so appreciate you taking the time for us, Sonia. It's so great to talk to someone, obviously with from a Hispanic background and with a Hispanic team. Obviously, from someone up in the Northeast, it's been so valuable for everyone on the call because we have a lot of, obviously, people from down here in the DFW area. So it's been great for us to listen to that. Sonia, I really do appreciate you getting on the call. Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you very much.
And I'll be waiting for your invite to go back up there again so that you can Gringo 007 again.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. All right, guys, well, that was a treat. That was a real treat. Guys, thank you very much for getting on the call. We have another call coming up on Sunday, my Sunday Purge call, for those of you who need to. That's very, very much a planning call for your week. As Sonia was talking about, she said, she sits there and she plans the week with her team. Well, I'm going to do that for you because maybe some of you are not in contact with your upline or crossline or whatever, and you need some help. Get on that call, and I'll help you plan your week. I'm doing it with a live person on the call. We plan the whole week. We get, some people we're going to call that week. We prepare invitations and we allocate the time. and it's really an environment for you to be able to plug in and do the same thing. So get on the Purge call on Sunday, get your team on there, and I'll be doing the training for your team there. So if you're an MC and you're thinking, I've got 3 or 4 MCs in my business, but I don't know how to train them, get them on the call and I'll do it for you. So guys, make sure you get on that call. All right, well, again, thank you very much, Sonia, for staying up so late. I really do appreciate it. And guys, thank you very much for getting on the call. And I will see you all on the Sunday call. I'll also make sure that this call, it has been recorded. I'll make sure it gets up on the EC Riders Facebook page. So for those of you who have team members you wished were listening to this, you can just take them to the EC Riders Facebook page and they can have a listen to it there. All right, guys, we'll have a super night. It's 9:46. Have a super rest of the week, and I'll see you guys all on Sunday night. All right, guys, good night.